Hey all, this is Nick Leatherland from Pegasus Property Group, and this video is going to be about calculating conversion costs. So I've got a whiteboard. First time I've ever used this in this video, so hopefully it'll be quite good. We'll see how it goes. So when you're stacking a deal, you need to know how much the building's going to cost to renovate, basically. That's one of the big questions is, what's it going to be worth when it's finished, the GDV, and how much is it going to cost me to renovate? And they're the two kind of big variable questions in property development that stops you from making the investment because you don't really know what the answer is. Lots of people guess the answers. Lots of people, get the builder in, come in, hey mate, can you come in, have a quick look around this house for me and give me a finger in the air quote. And sometimes that's completely useless as well because they don't really know what they're doing either. So, why do you need to stack a deal properly? You want to achieve financial freedom through building a property portfolio. You want to make sure that the investments are correct from the word go, so you're not making bad investments. Maybe you're sourcing property for other people and you want to make sure that your numbers are correct so that they don't come after you in the future saying, hey, you said it was a 10k conversion and now it's 20k. That happens all the time, by the way. Lots of sources get stung by that. So, top tip for you. Being able to stack a deal, knowing how to stack a deal is probably the most important thing as a property developer. If you don't know how to work the numbers out, you don't know how to know if it's a good deal or not, you're just making up as you go along. You're going to probably come unstuck at some point. So if you're watching this video, that probably means you've downloaded the deal stacker spreadsheet. That's my deal analysing spreadsheet on Excel that I created. That allows me to bang all the numbers in and it spits out the yields and the ROIs and it tells me if it's a good deal or not. I can stack a deal in under 60 seconds. That's based on experience, and also, sorry, that's my dog. That's based on experience, and I've made loads of mistakes along the way and learned the hard way. So, we developed the system at Pegasus Property to allow us to see a deal, put the offer in, get it accepted, and then all these numbers go out the window because then we get the professionals in who then stack it again, who do the quotes for us properly at this point. But your builder's probably not going to be too impressive. You're calling them constantly, asking them to come round and quote every single property you're looking at. Trust me, I've done that, and you piss everybody off and they won't answer the phone to you after a while. So it's not what you want to do. So, some common sense applies. If you're looking at a building based on the sort of size of the building, is it a big square shape? Is it more, is it slimmer? How many windows has it got? Obviously, if you've got a big square shape like a nightclub, how are you going to get, 20 apartments in there? There's going to be a big area in the middle, which is going to be useless space, for example. So, there's ways around those things, but, if you're just starting out, you want to keep it nice and basic, nice, slim, long buildings with lots of windows, lots of flats, lots of HMO rooms, whatever you're trying to do, happy days. So, like I said, this is about conversion costs. So, quick disclaimer, this all depends where you are in the country, it all depends on what spec you're doing, it depends on lots and lots of different things, and this is just how I do it. So, what you need to do is you need to get the metre square of the building. When you know what the floor space is of that building, you can do a lot with that. You can work out how many rooms you can get in there. If you can work out how many rooms/units you can get in there, you can work out what the GDV will be. If you can work out what the size of the building is, you can use conversion cost to calculate how much it would cost to renovate the building. So you've got the purchase price, you've got the number of units you're going to get in, and the GDV, and the conversion cost. So you basically got all the main numbers that you need to stack that deal. So it all starts with the floor space. Now, if you're going through an agent or someone like that, they probably have the total square footage of the building. It's normally in feet, so you want to convert that into metres. That's how I work. Some people still use feet. I'm living in the 21st century, so I like to use metres like everyone else in the world. So, whatever. A good way of finding out the footage of a building is by going onto the EPC register. So the EPC register online, you can download, you can put in a postcode, house address, and you can download the EPC. That works brilliantly for generic houses. If you're looking at an old Victorian building that you want to convert into a HMO, the EPC is probably out there somewhere. But if not, I've got this laser measurer, which cost me about 60 quid. I go out, boom, boom, I get the, all the lengths and measurements of the rooms, and then I add it all together, and I work out what the total square meterage is of that building. So that's how we do it. If you're doing a big project, you want to get a QS in anyway, a quantity surveyor, because they'll do this for you, and they'll actually calculate all the costs. but you normally do that after your offer's been accepted. So just for the initial bit, you do it yourself, you use these conversion costs, etc., etc. I mean, most property developers, you know, they will know that, you know, a heating system's like 4.5k roughly. You know, mega flow is like 8 to 10k. Mega flow is your cylinder tank system, and you've got, you know, all your rads included in that as well. Loft conversions about 25k approximately. Again, depends where you are in the country. I know if you're in London and watching this, you're going to be going, wow, that's cheap. Well, you know, we don't get ripped off up here, but whatever. Kitchen, probably looking at about 5k for a kitchen. Rewire, probably another 5k. Bathrooms, 3k for a bathroom. You know, roof's about 5k. Brand new roof's about 5k. If you're plastering, it's about £5 to £6 per square metre. If you're painting, it's about £3 per square metre. If you're doing carpet, it's about 12 quid a square metre, including fitting. Obviously, depending on what quality carpet you use, etc., etc. These are all numbers that I know off the top of my head, and these are all from just doing projects for years and years. So I can walk in a building and go, roof 5k, rewire, heating system, and I kind of come up with the numbers that way. It's very approximate, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be quick. It's supposed to be, you know, I'm going to walk in and within a minute I want to know how much, I want to know if I'm wasting my time basically. I want to be looking at deals all day. I don't want to be sitting there working it all out for hours and hours and hours. I want to quickly go, yes, no, yes, no. You know, and as you get more experience, you refine it down. You walk around, you see a big structural issue, you go, no thanks, I can't be bothered with that, or whatever. So, you know, conversion cost wise, so these are numbers that we calculate with the total total floor space, sorry, to work out what the approximate renovation cost will be. So how did we work this out? We were doing properties like buy-to-let, flips, HMOs, commercial to residential, etc., etc. And we kind of noticed little trends like, oh, that's, you know, that buy-to-let was like 25 grand, you know, and it was a 100 square metre building. Oh, that's 250 quid a square metre, you know, etc. So, you know, we kind of started noticing these little trends. Doing a new build, you know, someone said to me it's a grand a square metre. I was like, well, if it's a grand a square metre for a new build, there must be a number for doing like a HMO. There must be a number for doing a buy-to-let. There must be a number for doing commercial to residential. And there was. And I went out and found out what these were by getting the quantity surveyor to do the reports on different projects. And he was telling me what the conversion costs were per square metre. Now, this is common knowledge and common stuff to like people that do this all the time, but to a lot of property developers out there who are new, for example, they don't know about this. They're just going in blind, not knowing what the renovation is going to cost them, and they're relying on builders to come in and tell you. Now, that takes a lot of time. It wastes a lot of energy. You can go in there and say, right, I know that a buy-to-let is approximately £250 per square metre. Per square metre. So based on that, if it was a 100 square metre building, 25 grand. Easy. Is it worth doing? Well, it's a 60k purchase and it's a 25k renovation, but the GDV on one of them is 110k. Is it worth it? Fuck yeah, do it. Job done. You know, what about a 4, 5, 6 bed HMO? You know, we calculated around £450 per square metre. That's to do a 5 or 6 bed all-en-suite HMO. So if you're doing like a 4 bed HMO, it's going to be somewhere in between there. Now I know that a mega flow is 8 to 10k, and you're going to need a mega flow because when you go over kind of 4 showers, you know, you can only run maybe 2 off, you know, 1 phase electricity, maybe 2 off a combi boiler at the most, and that's your kind of 4 shower limit. So, you know, if you're doing like a 3 bed, 4 bed mini HMO with a couple bathrooms, you know that it's going to be somewhere between there and there. So you could kind of convert it using that number, add the extra bathrooms on knowing they're about 3k a piece. You know that a mega flow is going to be 8 to 10k, so you can kind of work it out using a bit of common sense. The roof's 5k, you know, stick it on there, job done. These are just approximates to help you quickly work it out. So next, commercial to residential. So commercial to residential, you know, you're probably going to have a really old commercial building. It's going to probably need insulation upgrades, and it's probably going to need document E, which is like soundproofing. So, the costs are going to be higher. So we look for around 650 quid if you're doing like a mid-range flat. So 650 per metre square. And that's for a mid-range flat. So if you're doing a higher range flat slash, multiple en suites, kind of HMO with all the trimmings, it's around 750, per square metre. If you're doing new builds, 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 per square metre, depends where you are in the UK, etc., etc. So if you got these numbers, and like I said, these are just approximate numbers that we're using, you could work these out yourself quite easily. You could look at other projects that people have done, download the EPC, find out how much they spent on it, what the average spend is. Our average spend on a 6-bed all-en-suite HMO is like 65k, and we've done quite a few of those now, so we kind of know it's 65k straight away. I know that a bathroom's 3k, so if it's a 5-bed HMO, I'll take a bathroom off, say 3k. Those kind of things are just rough numbers to work out on, so you can quickly stack this deal and get your offer in, beat your competition. I'm quite aware that this video is dragging on a bit, so I want to wrap this up quite quickly. So the next thing then is how many units can you get in? So like I said earlier, if you've got the purchase price and you've got the number of units that you can get in there, the conversion costs and the GDV, that's spot on. You need to know how many units you can get in so you can work out the GDV. So that's another important aspect. So we, again, stumbled upon this by luck in a way. John Colclough, my business partner, made an observation. He came to me one day and said, "Hey Nick, I've noticed that these 5-bed HMOs, there's 5 bedrooms in there, and it's about 125, 126 square metres in total." I was like, okay. And he said, "I noticed that the 6-bed HMOs are like 150 square metres, etc." And he was like, "I noticed that if you divide the total floor space by 26, it kind of gives you a rough number of HMO rooms. That's 26, that's 20 square metres for one room. That's obviously huge. I mean, most rooms are like 10 square metres, but you've got an ensuite on top of that. Then you've got like a bit of kitchen, a bit of a lounge, a bit of, walkway and hallways and corridors, etc. So he came up with 26. So we were looking at an old nightclub, which we put an offer in subject to planning, and we divided that by 26, and it came up with 32 bedrooms is what we'd get in there. We gave it to the architect, and he came back with 32 bedrooms bang on. Now, that made me go, wow, okay, I didn't know that was going to happen. That's quite cool. What other numbers are there that we can, stick in there? So flats, a flat is 30 square metres, say, minimum for it to be mortgageable, plus a bit of bathroom on top, plus a bit of corridor on top. Probably looking at maybe 35 to 40 is kind of your number for a flat. So if you had a 500 square metre building, for example, let me just pull my calculator up. So 500 square metre building divided by, say, 40. I'm sure some math geniuses right now know the answer to this, but I'm a bit slow. 12.5. So that's 12.5 flats that you could get into a 500 square metre building. Now, if you were to times 12.5 by, £120,000 per flat, okay, GDV 1.5 mil. Not too bad, really. What about if it was a HMO instead? So let's get 500 square metres again. Divide that by 26. So 19. So 500 divided by 26 equals 19 HMO rooms. So if you had 19 HMO rooms and you times that by an average rent of £600 per month, times that by 12 to get your per annum cost, that is 138,000. So 138, £461,000 gross rental income per year. So if you were to times that now by 7.5 is a good conversion calculator to use. Yeah, that's just over $1 million again, a million and 300,000 sort of thing. So, you know, which one stacks best? The flats stack a little bit better. Again, it depends on what area of the country you're in. So that is some conversion costs for you. So just to quickly recap as a summary, £250 per square metre for a flip, 450 quid for 5 to 6 bed HMO, £650 per square metre to £750 kind of for a flat. You know, some rough numbers for you off the top of your head, which you can remember. About 4 to 5 grand for a heating system with all your rads, 8 to 10k for a mega flow system, so that's what you need for a HMO, because you've got loads of showers, you need a cylinder tank system. About 25k for a loft conversion, 5k for a kitchen, 5k for a rewire, 3k for a bathroom, 5k for a new roof, £5 to £6 per square metre for plastering, £3 per square metre for painting, and about £12 per square metre for carpet, including fitting. Again, all subject to size, spec, area of the country, etc, etc. But you can work these out yourself. You know, that's what I'd advise doing. Go away and work these out yourself, and then you'll get the true numbers of what's in your area. This is just what works for me in my area. So, you know, and then just to go through this bit again quickly, so you get the total floor space. If you divide it by 26, that'll kind of give you approximate number of HMO rooms. In this instant, we did 500 square metres divided by 26 equaled 19 rooms. I then calculated 19 times £600 per month times 12 to work out the gross rental income per annum. I then times that by 7.5, which is an approximate calculation that commercial to residential, commercial revaluation lenders use. They normally get the gross rental income minus 25% times 10. That's what we get in our area. Some areas get times 12, times 14, whatever. You know, or if you get the gross rental income and times it by 7.5, that's the exact same calculation. So that's a little life hack for you, quicker way to work it out. I've heard some people say that's not how you work it out, and I've gone, well, what's the difference between gross rental income minus 25% times 10 and gross rental income times 7.5? What is the difference? There's no difference. So, and then if you get the total floor space, divide it by between 35 and 40, that would give you an approximate number of flats that you're getting. Get the flats, work out how much a flat will sell for, times it by the number of flats. In this case, you know, 12.5 flats times by, what was it, 130k or whatever, 120k, 1.5 million GDV. Cool, so thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Facebook, like us, follow us, subscribe to our channel. We've got loads of cool stuff. We've got developers days where we take people and show them all this, and we show them our projects as well. You know, we've got lots of exciting stuff coming up. It was quite a long video. I hope it was packed full of content. I was trying to get as much content in there as I can. So if I went on for a bit, I got a tendency to love talking. So thank you very much. Take care. Goodbye.